high in the snow-covered peaks of the Himalayas, where the air is thin and the world feels closer to the sky than to the earth, there lives a lineage of monks who have quietly defied the limits of human aging. Many of them live beyond 100 years, not just surviving but radiating strength, clarity, and peace. Their minds remain sharp, their bodies resilient, their presence timeless. These men are not backed by billion-dollar hospitals. They take no supplements, undergo no surgeries, and follow no modern medical protocols. So, what is their secret? For centuries, it was hidden, passed from master to disciple, whispered in mountain monasteries, sealed in the silence of meditation halls. But today, we open the scroll. In this video, you'll discover 5 ancient Tibetan secrets that science is only beginning to understand. These are not myths. These are disciplines of consciousness tested over centuries and now quietly making their way back into the world. So take a deep breath, open your mind, and come with us on a journey into the ancient heart of longevity, where breath, stillness, and awareness become the keys to a life not just longer, but wiser, calmer, and more awakened than you ever imagined. Part 1. The lifestyle of the Tibetan monks. Simplicity, stillness, and sacred rhythms. Forget what you know about longevity. In the Western world, the path to a longer life is often paved with routines, vitamin regimens, HIIT workouts, biohacks, anti-aging serums, and clinical scans. But high in the Himalayas, far from pharmacies and fitness apps, the Tibetan monks live by a different rhythm. One that is profoundly simple, deeply intentional, and quietly powerful. Their day begins before the sun rises, not with alarms or caffeine, but with silence. Stillness is not a break from life. It is the foundation of life. They sit cross-legged, eyes soft, back straight, and breathe. Sometimes in silence, sometimes with soft mantras echoing from the chambers of ancient temples, their meals sparse and sacred. A typical day includes only 2 small meals, often of roasted barley, yak butter tea, wild greens, or fermented vegetables. Their food is simple, whole, and seasonal. They eat slowly, mindfully, with full attention, not just to nourish the body, but to cultivate gratitude and awareness. They follow a principle rarely practiced in modern culture: eat only when the body is hungry, stop before it is full. To the monks, gluttony dulls the mind, simplicity sharpens the soul. And modern science is finally catching up. Studies on calorie restriction, practiced in similar ways by Tibetan monks, show that it activates a set of longevity genes called sirtuins. These genes help reduce cellular damage, improve mitochondrial function, and delay the effects of aging. But perhaps even more important than what they eat is how they live. Monks don't multitask. They walk slowly. They speak deliberately. Their homes are small stone dwellings, humble, clean, uncluttered. They spend hours in nature, not for sport or exercise, but to merge with the rhythm of the earth. In Tibetan culture, there is no real separation between spirituality and daily life. Every action, sweeping the floor, boiling tea, folding robes, becomes a form of meditation, an opportunity to return to the present moment. They don't chase time, they observe it. They breathe with it. In doing so, they slow down the frantic internal clock that wears most of us out. This is the first great secret of the Tibetan monks. Longevity is not in what you add, it's in what you remove. Noise, rush, excess, ego, tension, the less they carry, the longer and lighter they live. Part 2. The power of breath, Tummo, and the inner fire. There is a secret flame that burns within the body, not made of oxygen or fuel, but of breath, intention, and inner awareness. In the frozen highlands of Tibet, where temperatures drop below zero and winds slice through even the thickest robes, monks sit motionless and warm, not because of fires, not because of blankets, but because they have lit the fire within. This is Tummo, the ancient Tibetan practice of inner heat, known only to advanced yogis and preserved through generations of silent transmission. At first glance, it appears like any other meditation. The monk sits in stillness, eyes closed, breath slow. But inside, a powerful process is unfolding. Through specific breath patterns, visualizations, and focused mental energy, they awaken heat at the core of their being. In the belly, the spine, the heart. This is not metaphor, it is real, physical heat. Monks trained in Tummo have been observed drying wet sheets on their backs in freezing Himalayan air, simply through the warmth generated from within. But how? Modern science has tried to understand this mysterious ability. Researchers from Harvard, led by Dr. Herbert Benson, conducted studies in India and Tibet in the 1980s. They found that Tummo practitioners could raise their body temperature by up to 8.3 degrees Celsius, without movement, without external heat sources, just by breathing and visualizing. This inner fire stimulates the sympathetic nervous system, releases adrenaline in controlled amounts, and floods the body with warmth, energy, and even euphoric states. In modern terms, Tummo breath regulates the vagus nerve, enhances immune function, and creates a deep parasympathetic reset, the healing mode of the body. But for the monks, Tummo is more than a health hack. It is a sacred tool for overcoming fear, expanding consciousness, and preparing the mind for death. The fire is not just to warm the body, one monk said. It is to burn away ignorance. The Tummo breath is usually taught in secrecy, but simplified forms have been adapted and shared with the world, such as Wim Hof method, which is directly inspired by Tummo principles. Even a few minutes of controlled deep breathing and inner focus can shift your physiology, sharpen your mind, and awaken something ancient within you. So try it now, not the full practice, but a taste. Inhale deeply through the nose. Hold. Feel the heat build in your belly. Exhale slowly through the mouth, visualizing warmth spreading through your chest. Repeat. Observe. Feel what the ancients felt. Not magic. Not mystery. Just energy, focused and remembered. This is the second secret of longevity. Master your breath, and you master your inner world. Awaken your fire, and you will never fear the cold. Part 3. Deep meditation and the suspension of aging. There is a kind of silence that doesn't just quiet the mind, it quiets the very march of time. In the sacred halls of Tibetan monasteries, monks sit for hours, sometimes days, In deep meditation, not in escape, not in trance, but in full presence, still awake, aware. From the outside, they appear motionless, but inside, something remarkable is happening. The body begins to slow, soften, and reset. Heart rate drops. Breathing becomes barely detectable. Brainwaves shift into theta and gamma frequencies, states often associated with lucid awareness, healing, and even mystical insight. But beyond the brain, something even more astonishing unfolds. Aging itself slows down. This isn't poetic metaphor, it's measurable biology. In a study conducted by neuroscientist Dr. Richard Davidson at the University of Wisconsin, brain scans of Tibetan monks revealed something profound. Monks who had meditated for decades showed younger brain structures than their age, suggested by as much as 15 to 20 years. Other studies found that regular meditation could preserve telomeres, the protective caps on our DNA strands that shorten with stress, disease, and aging. The shorter your telomeres, the closer your cells are to death. Meditation, especially the kind practiced by monks, appears to slow or even reverse this cellular decline. But why? Because in deep meditation, the stress signals that damage the body are silenced. The immune system is strengthened. The mind is cleared of reactive thoughts, and the body is bathed in calm, healing neurochemicals, serotonin, endorphins, GABA, and even oxytocin. But beyond the biology, there is something more subtle, more sacred. When monks meditate, they are not trying to escape life. They are entering it more fully than most of us ever do. In that state of complete presence, time no longer dominates them. They are not their age. They are not their story. They're not even their body. They become the stillness beneath all movement, the witness behind every thought, the space where birth and death simply rise and fall like waves on an eternal sea. And in that space, aging becomes irrelevant. This is the third great secret of Tibetan longevity. Stillness doesn't just quiet the mind. It rejuvenates the body, reconnects the soul, and suspends the illusion that we are running out of time. So if you feel your life racing past you, pause, sit, and return to the stillness within. Your body will thank you. Your spirit already knows. Part 4. Sacred Sound and Vibrational Healing. Not all medicine comes in pills. Some of it comes in sound. In the Tibetan tradition, there are sounds so ancient they predate language. They're not sung for beauty or performance, but for alignment, for healing, for awakening. Walk into a mountain monastery at dawn, and you'll feel it before you hear it. A low, resonant chant. It's vibrating not just through the air, but through the walls, the floor, your bones. This is the power of mantra, sacred syllables passed down through centuries, each one carrying a specific vibrational frequency meant to awaken energy centers in the body and mind. Among the most revered is the mantra Om Mahoni Padme Hum, a sound said to embody the entire path of compassion and enlightenment. But these aren't just poetic claims. Modern science is beginning to catch up with what the monks have known all along. Sound creates form. Sound carries intention. Sound affects matter. In 1967, Dr. Hans Jenny, a Swiss scientist, demonstrated how sound frequencies could create intricate patterns in particles of sand and water, a field now called cymatics. Each frequency produced a different geometric shape. Sound wasn't just being heard, it was shaping reality. Monks believe the human body is a vessel of vibration, and that when we chant sacred sounds, or are exposed to healing frequencies from instruments like singing bowls, bells, or gongs, we begin to retune the system. Like a musical instrument that's gone slightly out of tune due to stress, fear, and disconnection, our energy centers can be brought back into harmony. The Tibetan singing bowl, for example, emits low, rich tones that resonate with the theta brainwave state, the state between sleep and wakefulness, where deep healing and regeneration occur. Some studies show that sound baths with bowls and gongs can reduce anxiety, lower blood pressure, and even ease chronic pain. But for the monks, the goal is never just physical healing. It's energetic coherence. It's to clear the static from the signal so that one's soul can speak more clearly through the body. And perhaps most profound of all, sound becomes a bridge between the seen and the unseen, between the personal and the cosmic, between this moment and eternity. The fourth secret of Tibetan longevity is this: your body is made of vibration. Heal the vibration, and the body follows. So the next time you feel off balance, anxious, or disconnected, don't rush to do more. Just pause and listen. Whether it's a soft chant, a deep bell, or even your own breath, let sound remind you of what's always been whole inside you. Part 5. A mind beyond fear. Transcending death and living lightly. What if the greatest cause of aging isn't time? What if it's fear? In the quiet stone temples of Tibet, monks don't just meditate to calm the mind or heal the body. They meditate to confront and ultimately dissolve the illusion of separation, control, and fear, and the deepest fear of all. Not failure. It's not loneliness. Not even pain, but death. In the West, death is something to avoid, deny, or sanitize. It is feared, fought against, and pushed to the margins of life, hidden behind hospital curtains and cosmetic euphemisms. But in Tibetan tradition, death is not a tragedy. It is not a punishment. It is a transition as natural as sleep, as sacred as birth. Something to prepare for, to study, and even to welcome. In fact, Tibetan monks begin training for death as young as 10 years. Old through the Foe practice, a meditation where the practitioner visualizes her consciousness exiting the body at the moment of death, rising like smoke, merging with the vast sky of awareness. Why? Because when one loses fear of death, something profound happens. You begin to live lightly. You stop clinging. You stop rushing. You stop poisoning your body with stress and your spirit with resistance. You smile more. You forgive faster. You breathe deeper. Science confirms what sages have long taught. Chronic stress, especially existential fear, floods the body with cortisol, shortens telomeres, suppresses immunity, and accelerates aging. But when you meditate daily on the impermanence of life, not to despair, but to understand, your nervous system relaxes, your priorities realign, your heart softens. To realize you are going to die, one monk once said, is to realize there is no time to waste on anything but love, wisdom, and breath.
Ow.
That's the final and perhaps most powerful secret of Tibetan longevity. To live long, live lightly. To live lightly, let go of fear. And to let go of fear, embrace death as a part of life. This does not mean you become passive. it means you become free. And in that freedom, something extraordinary unfolds. Your cells begin to regenerate, your energy returns, your mind expands, your soul once clenched in fear begins to dance. So if you've been holding on tightly to youth, to control, to the illusion of permanence, breathe, let go, and step into the vast open sky of what it truly means to live. So now you've heard the secrets. 5 timeless practices, passed down through silence and stillness. Simple yet powerful. Ancient yet more relevant today than ever. You don't need to move to the mountains. You don't need to become a monk. But you do need to remember what they never forgot. That longevity isn't found in chasing youth. It's found in reconnecting with breath, in simplifying how we live, trusting the rhythms of nature, and in loosening our grip on fear. These monks don't live long because they resist life. They live long because they surrender fully to it. So if there's one thing you take away from this journey, let it be this: return to your breath, honor your stillness, and live each day as if it were sacred, because it is. If this message touched something in you, share it. Leave us a comment. Tell us your experience. And most of all, subscribe to Satori Nest, where ancient wisdom meets modern awakening. Let's continue walking this path together, one breath, one step, one insight at a time. Until then, stay present, stay soft, stay awake.